is the fastest growing podcast in the world right now, downloaded in over 50 countries in all 50 states. It's also named Follow the Action. You can follow us at FT Action all over social media. And one reason that our following is so big, our podcast is doing so well, and our UFC show is doing so well, is this man right here. He is the cornerstone. He is the capstone. He is the thing. We are building this entire empire on top of. Today alone, he had a plus 350 bet that we won on NASCAR. Thank you very much. He is the Philly Godfather, in my opinion, the best sports bettor in the world, Steve Maltepes. Steve, how you doing today?
Good, man. Happy that NASCAR bet won because a lot of our wagers this week have been losing in extra innings. We lost that Bucks first half total by a point. So it's good to get some money back on that plus 350 doll.
Always good to get the money back, and long term you guys win. That's what matters. There's always some variance. There's always some bumps in the road. Long term you win. Long term, this man's got all kinds of names. He is Joy Bagels. It is bagel time. It is Joy Delicious in certain circles. To us, he is mainly Joy Odessa. He is the best combat sports handicapper in the freaking planet. How you doing, Joy?
What's up, JBL, BG, TCK? Was no coach today?
Coach?
No, thank goodness. Hey, and I want to ask you something right quick. Last week, very few times will guys go against you and the Philly Godfather. A lot of times the guys will just kind of piggyback along with. Last week, we had a fight. Sugar Sean O'Malley. Coach says he is the next Conor McGregor. You guys, both of you two guys, you experts, or at least according to Coach, so-called experts. That's what he said last week. He didn't say that, but he intimated that. He said he's going with Sugar Sean O'Malley. Guys, how did that fight play out?
It played out for everybody that didn't bet O'Malley, and it played out better for everybody that bet Vera. Hindsight's always 100, but, Coach was on the other side. Coach isn't here today. I'm surprised. He's still licking his wounds, I think.
Is Coach responsible for those hospital bills for that broken leg?
Oh, yeah, Coach is upset about that.
Does he have Blue Cross? What kind of health insurance?
Coach is up there with Tiger Woods and all that. Coach is chilling on the golf course today if it's not raining.
His leg broke in the first round. That wasn't a loss. That was like having to put down Seabiscuit.
That's something
imagine having to carry Coach. If you had to carry Coach's wager on your back, you'd fucking break the leg too, right?
That's something out of a bad mobster movie where Mush bets on a horse and the horse breaks its leg and it's all over and everyone's mad at him and they're ripping up the tickets.
And then he no-shows us. He don't show up today.
Exactly. I had to take my first COVID test today because I'm down here in the WWE bubble waiting to do SummerSlam over the weekend. Got to give yourself time to make sure don't have COVID. I'm not that worried about it because I've been social distancing. I've been wearing my mask, and Coach didn't bet on me. If Coach had bet on me, no telling what would happen. I might not make it throughout the weekend.
He probably had St. Pierre written down.
He's called he's called the future of sports betting. He is one half the college kids. He is Matt with the Ben Simmons jersey in the background. How you doing, Matt?
Doing great. Just my Sixers aren't.
Yeah, your Sixers are having some issues right now. Good grief. Looks like the coach may not be back next year.
Definitely.
And we've got a guy that we've never seen. We think that he has probably got abs like Ronaldo, speed like Usain Bolt, and arms like 1974 Arnold. He is Dave Mason. From what we understand, a supermodel. He is with Bet Online. Dave, how you doing?
I'd be better if some of these NBA underdogs would start cashing, but we've been getting murdered in NBA. But it is what it is. That's how how it goes sometimes.
Dave, what was it Monday where you guys the favorites were 20-1? It was Monday or Tuesday with that. You guys took a pretty good hit that day, didn't you?
Yeah, we got absolutely murdered. I mean, that was the most profitable day for the public since last football season. But it's Tuesday was good and Wednesday was good and Thursday was okay. Yesterday was okay, but up and down, man. That's how it goes. People think that the books always win. That's just not the case. I mean, if the favorites go 20-1, we're going to be licking our wounds, and we definitely were licking our wounds on Monday morning. But I'll tell you what, or Tuesday, I'll tell you what, the casino numbers go up in those days. So, man, the casino, whenever we get murdered, the happiest guy in our business is the casino manager because his numbers are through the roof.
Where the people go in with the money they have and play
Oh, yeah, you kidding me? How that house money that coach talks about, right? They go with their house money, and they're doubling down on blackjack and black-red on the roulette wheel and whatever, slots, do whatever, pull the damn slot lever and see what happens. And, yeah, the casino numbers are always great when the sports book takes it in the you-know-what.
Well, let's start off with a little house money, Joey D. How about that?
There you go. Where are we going?
Let's start off with the first fight. Is a bantamweight fight. It is two guys who are debuting in the UFC. Timur Valiev, Russian, he's 12-6 as far as his breakdown of his fights. He is 2-0 as far as knockouts, TKOs. He is 4-1 on submissions. He is a huge favorite. I got these lines this morning, so I'm sure they will have changed. Probably some maybe significantly. Minus 535. Last fight he lost was in 2016. He is fighting Trevin Jones from Guam, who is plus 420. 16-2 is his record. He's 5-0 on KOs, 2-0 on submissions. He has never been stopped. Dave, where do you get the money in this first fight?
Yeah, the odds have gone. They're pretty much still what you said. They're both about. Valiev is about minus 550 to take back on Jones is plus 400. This is one of those fights. 70% of the bettors are on Jones, but because Valiev is such a big favorite, 73% of the money is on him. 60% is on over 2.5. Nothing sharp at Bet Online that I can see.
Joey, what do you think about this fight?
Everybody's on this Valiev. He avenged one of his losses. I think that PFL kid I wrote down there. So that shows that he's got heart and character. It's tough to. You got to like the favor here, but I tell you what, don't expect some some spectacular performance here. I think this is going to be just kind of a grind out, boring decision. The reason that this Russian kid's 16-2, and he's just making his way to the UFC now, and it's not like he's beating up the world everywhere else. Sure, he's dominant in the PFL, but the PFL is, you've seen what happens when those PFL guys, cross over to the UFC. They don't have a lot of success. So I'm thinking that I didn't bet the fight, obviously, but Valiev, I see him, he's as high as minus 640 in some spots. And I think he's going to beat Jones. And, that people, again, are probably going to be enamored by that Dagestani stuff. But I think it's an overplay. I didn't, look, I'm not advocating betting over. But, if you did put a gun in my head, I would say that this fight goes over. And the price there is almost about 2-1 on the over 2.5. It's the only thing I would touch on that play on this fight if I were to bet it, because I think the dog's durable.
Philly Godfather, are you touching anything on this fight?
Well, the favorite's too high to bet him. The dog's not good enough to take the plus money. But the dog's been fighting since 2011, so like Joey said, he's durable. He's in there to survive, and hopefully he takes this fight deep. But I just can't see the dog winning. If anything, I think the over is juiced at minus 185, Dave?
Yeah.
I would lean towards the over, and the over was a 2.5, over 2.5, minus 185.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd probably bet that. I couldn't bet the dog here. But yeah, that's how I would bet it.
Matt, did you have anything on this fight?
Yeah, I actually have the over here, over 2.5. Like Joey said, I think he's going to grind it out. Timur, that's how you pronounce his name. Timur Valiev. And I think Jones going to stay in there. I think this fight goes over.
And just for the record, because I'm taking notes, and I'll recap this before the main event. Matt, you did bet on this as far as the over, right?
Yeah, we nibbled on it.
Right. Okay, thank you. The next fight is a
Is everything working in our chat room? Everything working in our chat room? I see a reputable guy in there that said dumbasses, and I hope he's not talking about us. I don't think he would be. So is everybody sound on or something?
I think
I see. That's just an odd comment from a pretty good dude.
Yeah, it is. It's working.
Okay, I'm just making sure, because this guy here, he bets, the guy that's in the chat is one of the best boxing bettors I've seen since I went offshore back in 2001. And he made his way in here, and then he started out with saying dumbasses. Maybe he's watching a fight or something and typed in the wrong box. I don't know. But
I don't know.
He can always come up in the ring and call us dumbasses if he wants.
Everyone else
come right to Philly.
Okay.
We'll
Oh,
put the
he's talking
gloves on.
about people playing the casinos. There we go.
Yeah.
Got my eye on the chat.
Hey, be quiet, man. Be quiet. Everybody go to the casino.
I thought he was looking for coach.
We get called so many names that I figured that shit maybe he was.
But,
Maybe he was jumping on the
wait.
train.
I hate. Listen, there's a lot of sharp bettors out there that we know, and I hate when some of them have that type of ego, and they call the recreational bettors dumbasses for having some type of entertainment and going to the casino and betting some money. Now, you're going to go to a concert. You can pay $5,000 for a ticket. The concert's over in 3 hours. You're out all your money, but you had a great freaking time. So to call people dumbasses if they want to go play a little roulette and gamble a little bit, that's a little harsh in my opinion. Just because you're sharp doesn't mean that, other people don't want to have fun. Like, I know a lot of sharp guys who are freaking miserable because they never have no fun and they're always chasing the best of the number. And let's be honest, man, life's about having a little bit of fun, a little gamble, and there's nothing wrong with that. No reason to call them dumbasses.
Yeah, but in his defense, maybe he's referring to guys who take too much money and go and.
Oh, if they blow it all, yeah. But you know what? If they had a great time doing it, who cares? Let them have some fun, man. They're not like the average guy ain't sitting there watching the screen all day, handicapping the games or the fights. The guy's got a nice job and he wins some money betting on sports and he loses it back in the casino. Who cares? He had a great time. That's what life's about. Life's short, man. The biggest gamble you take every day is getting out of bed every morning. You never know what's going to happen, man. Have some fun in life.
I've never had a bad time at a blackjack table. I can tell you that. I haven't won sometimes, but I've had a good time. A few times I had to be told later I had a good time because I don't remember it, but it sounded like I had fun.
And you don't have we don't have any you don't have to wear a mask at our blackjack tables either, so you can sit there in your underwear, no mask, and no people coughing on you, no cigarette smoke. So some other positives.
I wanted to go back to a few blackjack tables with a mask. You know what I mean?
All right, before you admit to a felony, Joy, let's get on to the second fight. Carlton Minus is the next fight. It's a welterweight fight, fighting Matthew Semmelsberger. Semmelsberger is the dog, only a slight dog, a plus 105, or at least that's what it was this morning when I checked the odds. Minus is minus 115, the favorite. He is 10-1 with one no contest. He is 6-0 as far as KOs, TKOs, 1-1 as far as submissions. And he and Matthew Semmelsberger are both in their debut fight. Semmelsberger, another American, is 6-2, 4-1 as far as KOs, TKOs, 1-1 as far as submissions, meaning that none of his fights have gone the distance. Let's say 5, 6, 7. One fight's gone the distance. The over-under stands at 2.5. It's a minus 175 to bet the over, plus 155 to bet the under. Dave, what do you have in this debut fight for both these guys?
Yeah, the money, both the money and bet counts pretty 50-50. Minus opened up as a minus 140 favor. He's down to minus 115. The sharp action is on the other side on Semmelsberger at plus money is sharp. Once again, the cash and the bet count is about 50-50, and 70% of the action is on under 2.5.
And Joy, did you have anything on this?
Yeah, they pounded this line. I'm fairly certain this thing opened like minus 365. Isn't that right, Dave? I mean,
yeah, like real quick, and then it got hit, and it dropped. It dropped in a heartbeat. One of those kind of early opens, and the right guy bet it, and it just freaking dropped like a potato.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw a high number, but again, it got down to like the minus 130s. It got away from me right away. I don't, I think that this dog here, Semmelsberger, I can't even say his name. The other kid is, one of those Alaska fighting kids, and he does have he fought some better guys than Semmelsberger. I don't even like saying that name. Anyways, if I had to bet the fight, I'd bet under. I'm still looking. I'm thinking Semmelsberger and under. I think that's probably, I haven't pulled the trigger, but. I'm taking a long, hard look at this Matthew Semmelsberger with his 6-2 record, which against nobodies, against a guy, this Alaskan kid. I think there might be something there, and in fact, I think the under looks really appealing to me. That's it. I'm off the fence. I talked myself into it. I'm going to pull the trigger on this.
Fire right now. Watch the line move. Watch Joey bet.
Yeah.
Watch the
Well,
line
I can't
move.
because I got to text my guy on the phone, which is on the camera, which complicates things.
Yeah, Joe. What do you want?
What's that? Yeah. There you go.
Hey, Dave, this Joey was talking about this fight started about minus 365. Was that for Carlton minus that you're talking about, minus 365?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, that was obviously sharp money stepping in very big, in a big way, at least a noticeable way, with Selmansberger, right?
Yeah. I'm pulling up our history right now. We put these odds up so dang early. So
what kind of limits you got on those early odds?
We opened minus 230. So someone else might have opened higher, but we opened minus 230. Got hit like right away and dropped to, minus 180 or so, 140, minus 140.
Dave, let me ask you a question. Are the limits early in the week the same as on fight day?
Nah.
A lot smaller.
About a nickel. We open them a nickel, but you can rebet it. We have that rebet functionality where you can just, no matter what the limit is, as long as it's not some hokey prop, some weird prop. But on stuff like this, you can hit another 500 in 61 seconds, or the first odds move, whichever comes first, over and over again. So that's even on an NFL spread, that's $50,000 if you want to get down twice, hit it for $50K, and then within 61 seconds or odds move, you can hit the first odds move, whichever comes first, you can do another $50K. So, that's kind of unique to bet online, which a lot of big bettors and sharp bettors like.
Philly Godfather, did you have anything on this fight?
Yeah, the kid from Alaska, they call him Clutch, Carlton Minus. He's fought the better competition, but he is 2 inches shorter. I think he's got a shorter reach. The other kid can punch a little bit. I like the other kid. They call him Jedi or something, Semelsberger. I think he can stop this kid. He can punch a little bit, and I know Minus has fought the slightly better competition, but this other kid can really punch.
And would you touch? You say you think he can be stopped. Would you touch the over under on this, or would you just go inside?
I haven't touched it. I bet Semelsberger a little bit, and that's about it.
Matt, do you have something on this fight?
I don't have anything, but we have a couple people in chat asking some questions. F. Cardo's asking, do we like Gallimore in an upset versus Findor tonight? He said it's boxing. Does anyone
have that question again? Say the question again.
Do we like Gallimore in an upset versus Findor tonight? Does anyone have an opinion or no? No.
No, the only well, at the end we'll talk about the fight. I've been looking at this Joe Smith fight all week, and having a real hard time not betting the favorite. But I was going to reach out to some people before I did that. Philly Godfather and my guy Valdosta, who was actually in chat. I was looking to grab his opinion on it. He's got a really good eye on the sport. But no, I had no opinion on that fight. I mean, this UFC card with all these cancellations just kind of really threw me off this week.
Yeah.
Next fight is a light heavyweight fight. The over-under stands at 1.5. Jordan Wright, it's called the Beverly Hills Ninja. He's minus 125. He is the favorite as of this morning. He's 10-0, and it's evenly split. 5-0 on KOs, TKOs, 5-0 on submissions. He is a middleweight moving up to light heavy, fighting a heavyweight moving down to light heavy. It is Hurricane Ike Villanueva. He's plus 105. He is 16-10. From America, the USA, he is 13-4. As far as submissions, this is something that might be interesting. He has no submissions as far as giving out submissions. He has been tapped out 5 times. The over-under, as I say, 1.5, plus 100 to bet the over, minus 120 to bet the under. Dave, what do you have as far as money?
Bets at money are both on Wright, but it's pretty split. 56% of the bettors and 53% of the cash is on Wright. Under 64.5% on under.
And Joey, do you have something on this fight?
Yeah, this Villanueva here, however you say his name, he fought Chase Sherman at heavyweight in his last fight in the UFC. And, that's something I was concerned about with OSP, with having to lose all that weight. Where is he here? I'm looking at my sheet because I want to give you the exact amount that he had to lose here. Anyways, he had to lose a good amount of weight for this fight, but he's also used to getting, he fought Chase Sherman tough. I think that Ike is the side here. The other kid got smashed by Anthony Hernandez on the Contender Series. I just think that Ike is the side here. I think he's going to keep throwing, and I don't know. I don't think Wright can stop this kid. So, I'm going with the guy who obviously had to train to make weight this time. A lot of times guys train to make the weight class, if he trained to make the weight, to make this weight, he had to train. That's my pattern of thought, which will make him in better shape than he was against Chase Sherman. And I think the aggressive guy that fought Chase Sherman is better than this Jordan Wright. So it's Ike for me. Isaac, Ike, whatever.
Philly Godfather, do you have a side on this or a take on the total?
Well, I know Wright took the fight on short notice. He's actually came in 5 pounds underweight, right? Isn't he short on the weight? So he got beaten 40 seconds.
But he's a true middleweight that's moving to light heavy. So he's normally a little lighter.
Against a guy that was just a heavyweight.
Yeah, and that's always a recipe for disaster. He lost last time out, I think, in 40 seconds, like Joey mentioned. But they had the fight overturned because the other guy had marijuana in his system or something, Joe, I forget. So his record is a little deceiving. Jordan Wright's taking it on short notice. I got to back Joey here. I'm on Joey's side.
If you lose to a guy that's high, shouldn't you get like 2 losses?
Yeah.
Should at least 1.5? That's got to be.
Yeah, but
your opponent just tested positive for pot. We're going to give you 1.5 losses.
But how do you overturn the victory? That's what kills me. All right, suspend the kid, give him some Twinkies, some tasty cakes. The guy that lost, the guy. But how do you take the W away when you won while being high? It's not like it's a drug that enhanced your performance. If anything, it slowed you down a little bit. But weed can stay in your system for up to 45 days. So, you want to suspend him, you want to fine him, but don't take the W away from him. It's nuts, man.
I completely agree with that. It's not a PED. It's something that makes you want Twinkies during rounds. Matt, do you have something on this fight?
Yeah, I'm actually back in Villanueva here. I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. But when I look at it, I just don't see the quality in Wright's opponents. I just don't think he's had that level of competition. So I'm back in Villanueva.
Dave, what's the total on the rounds here?
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
Which way is it used?
Over is plus 113.
Yeah. There are no dummies, PG. I think that 1.5 is probably a pretty good number. It's tough to go over under these 1.5s.
Yeah.
Wright's never seen any of his fights go to distance. Only 4 of Villanueva's 26 fights have gone to the scorecards. If I had to choose on the total, I'd go under, but I'm not choosing.
Dave, you had Philly Godfather, Joey, and Matt all on the same side here with Hurricane Ike, Villanueva. You didn't mention any sharp money. Do you have sharp money on this action on this fight as well?
Not from us, no. The sharper side does look Villanueva, but not any of the big sharp money. Not here, at least.
Gotcha. Next fight I have is
right?
Not yet.
We'll better
Next
get
fight
that
we
number.
have is a 2.5 round total over under. It is Austin Hubbard, who is evenly split -110 against Joe Selecki, who is -110 as well. Austin Hubbard is 12-4 from the USA, 4-0 as far as knockout submissions. He is 3-1 as far as knockouts, TKOs. 3-1 as far as submissions. Fighting Joe Selecki, who's same odds, at least earlier, a coin flip, 1-1 as far as knockouts, 6-0 as far as submissions. One of the only losses that Joe Selecki has on his record was a KO in the 3rd round back in 2018 by Moda. The other was a undefeated unanimous decision by Belmakata in 2017. The over-under stands at 2.5, -290 to take the over, plus 245 to take the under. Dave, where do you have the money?
The money, let's see, 62% of the bets, and 56% of the cash is on Hubbard. So we'll need a Selecki. 87% of the actions on the under 2.5. We do have some a little bit of sharp action on this one on Selecki at plus money. So, so we had the public's on Hubbard, the sharp actions on the other side.
Joey, you have something on this fight?
Oh, you remember this is the Hubbard kid that fought the kid Rashkov.
Yeah.
We all remember that name, who quit on the stool. I don't want to beat that to death, but this is one of those cases where David said that the public seems to be on Hubbard. Look, I think Selecki's the better fighter. I think that he could take him down. I mean, look, Madsen took him down, but Madsen's a Greco, a silver medalist or whatever, tremendous talent out of, where is he from, Denmark or one of those countries over there. Anyways, he took him down at will. I think Rashkov took him down in the first round, even coming in on short notice and even having to carry the weight of me. I'll take credit for that loss. Me on his back and coach and some others. I think Selecki might be able to just take him down and hold him there. If Selecki's not in great shape, he can lose this fight. But Austin Hubbard, and I get to use my words. You missed the wedding and you show up for the funeral, and this looks like the funeral to me. I think that you missed the good money plus money with Rashkov. He caught lightning in a bottle, and now you just I think that the wave was going that way, and people remember that fight. Austin Hubbard, the guy that came back and made Rashkov quit. He's one of the only guys that's fought recently on the undercard that anybody could probably identify, that most people. So I think that's why he's getting the public money. So bottom line, I think that Selecki is the right side there. Hubbard looks appealing, but I think he's a live dog that won't win.
Selecki has 9 wins, 6 of those, as you mentioned, being a wrestler, 6 of those are by submissions. He's not been tapped out himself at all. Philly Godfather, do you have anything on this fight?
Yeah, I texted you guys earlier. I took Selecki. I like the way he won his last fight against what's his name, Wyman. He had a significant strike advantage. I think it was like 56-10. He had the edge in takedowns 4-0. He's a local kid. He's out here, Winona, New Jersey, not too far from Philly. So I'm going to take the local kid. I think he wants to fight, man. I think he's as long as he comes in tip-top shape. And I talked to a couple guys who said he's in shape. So I can't bet against the local kid.
There you go.
Matt, do you have something on this fight?
Yeah, I lean Selecki, but I didn't take nothing on this one.
Lean Selecki, but don't take him. Okay. Put that down. And the next fight is the first women's fight on the card. It is a strawweight matchup. You have Amanda Lemos from Brazil. She is a plus 110, at least earlier this morning it was. She is 7-1 in her record. Her sole loss came back in 2017. 5-1 as far as KOs, TKOs, 2-0 as far as submissions. She is a southpaw fighting Misuka Inouye from Japan. She's been a professional fighter since she was age 16. She's minus 130. She's 14-5 as far as her record. No knockouts to her credit, and she has not been knocked out herself. She has lost 5 fights, but she's won 9 by submission. Nobody has tapped her out as well. She's not been stopped in this fight. The over-under stands at 2.5. Dave, where do you have the money?
56% of the better, 69% of the cash is on Inouye. 87% is on under 2.5, and we did take some sharp action on this one on Lemos when it was up at around plus 140. It got bet by some sharps and dropped back down.
Joey, you got something on this fight?
I bet the Japanese girl. I bet anyway. Again, here's a girl that's got, to go to recent memory for anybody, that Jandiroba, the girl that looked like Melendez, if Gilbert Melendez and Nunes had a kid, that girl that wiped the other girl out with an arm bar last week. Well, she fought her to a split decision over an Invicta in 2018. Anyway, did. So, it's tough that a lot of times you put too much credibility into a loss that somebody took. But this Jandiroba, we saw her, man, we saw that Nunes, Melendez morphed woman just beat, she tapped her quick. So, and I think that Inouye beat that Wu, that Chinese girl, in China. She won a split decision, but I think she, legitimate split decision. Anyway, the dog, a little about the dog. Dog's really good, but I question the dog's cardio. She's 1-1 in the UFC. What's his name? She trains with what's his name there? Kid that just knocked out. I should have this written down on my notes. The kid that just knocked out Joe Benavidez, Figueiredo. She trains with Figueiredo. They grew up together. I don't know, same village, same house. Who knows what they are? But anyway, she's got some relation there. I still think Inouye will be the more aggressive fighter. I think Inouye wins a decision here. Probably be a split decision. I expect Lemos that, these Brazilians are front runners a lot of times. They come out, they look like, they come out piss and vinegar in the first round, throwing heat, and then they just gas out. I think that's going to be the case with Lemos, and I like Inouye, slow and steady wins the race, and I think she'll get it done. I think she'll win a decision. Got that all out.
You mentioned that fight against Jandiroba. That was where she went the distance, whether it was a loss. It was a
5 rounds. Yeah, 5 rounds, 25 minutes. That's a long time to go with somebody that good. I think, and I don't think that Lemos is on that level unless I really missed something in her all of 8 ballots.
Philly Godfather, do you have something on this fight?
Well, Mizuki is only 26 years old, but she's been fighting since she was 16. I think she turned pro at 16. That's a young age. So she's got a lot of experience for a young fighter. Lemos, she's one of those juice heads. She was suspended for 2 years. I think she was taking stanozol. She came back, but she hasn't fought the level of competition. I'm with Joey here. I'm in agreement with Joey. I like Mizuki Inoue.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I actually bid on Mizuki. I don't know how to say her last name, but yeah, I think it might be a competitive fight. I know Lemos has some power. She's like he said, juice, whatever. And 5 or 7 wins came from knockout, I believe. But I mean, Mizuki's such a great technician. I think she's going to be able to go to distance. I think it possibly also goes over. I think Mizuki's never been stopped, so I actually like Mizuki.
Yeah, Lemos only has 2 stoppages by submission, so I don't think she can beat her standing up. I think Joey's 100% accurate here with Inoue.
Ogenki Deskai, that is how you doing in Japan. Biro is beer. I was there quite a bit long time, and they say kampai, that is toast. Pai pai, though, is a woman's top anatomy, so you don't want to mess up kampai and pai pai, which I did a few times while drinking beer with some of the Japanese sponsors. They didn't find that funny at all. They still have a sense of humor. I don't get it.
How do you say kamikaze in Japanese?
I'm laughing.
We used to be sponsored by the Japanese mafia up in Chiba, and I used to always joke and say "bye bye" for the toast. They go, "No, hi bye." I go, "I know." So, on the main card,
sword? You didn't bring the sword.
I don't have it. I'm in quarantine. I'm in the bubble, Joey. I'm down here in Orlando. I'm real close to you. I'm just in quarantine. I just took my COVID test.
You should have brought the sword on the plane. That would have went over.
That's
well.
always real popular. You bring a sword and a mask on a plane.
Yeah, there you go.
Next fight, we start the main card. We got a welterweight fight that kicks off the main card. D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez, minus 230. He is the favorite as of this morning. That was the odds. Fighting Dwight Green, who's plus 190. D-Rod is from the USA. He's 12-1. He's a southpaw. He's never been stopped. He's 6-0 as far as KOs, TKOs. 4-0 as far as submissions. His one loss was back in December 1st, 2017 to Victor Reina. Dwight Grant from the USA, also Orthodox fighter, 10-2. He is 7-0 as far as knockouts, TKOs, 0-0 as far as submissions. He has never been stopped as well. The over-under stands at 2.5 and an understandable minus 175 to bet the over, plus 155 to bet the under. Dave, what do you have in the welterweight matchup?
Yeah, nothing sharp at Bet Online, at least as of yet. 69% of the money and 60% of the bettors are on Grant. 93% is on under 2.5. So that's what we got in it. And it's currently, or is it D-Rod is minus 186. Tape back is plus 161. So that's the current odds.
Okay, Dave, where'd that line open up
You
at?
had as far as Grant, you had 67% of the money and 60% of the bets on Grant. Was that right?
69% of the cash and 60% of the bets are on Grant. And it opened, Rodriguez opened minus 210, it seems, yeah.
And it's come down throughout the day, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Joe, do you have something on this fight?
Well, Grant's a late replacement for Sato. Whatever reason, Sato, I guess, weighed in and the commission didn't clear him to fight. And Rodriguez was, I believe Rodriguez opened 185 against Sato. I don't know what the price was when it closed. It doesn't matter, obviously, because Grant's in there. The thing with Grant is, if I'm not mistaken, Grant had some injury hiccups. He's tough, man. He trained out in California. He's a New York guy, I guess. Trained out in California with AKA for a while. And those guys in the gym, man, they at least they used to fight hard. You know what I mean? And with DC getting ready for this fight, anyways, I think Rodriguez, again, is another one of them slow and steady wins the race. I think Rodriguez is going to stay on him and probably win a decision here. But Rodriguez is not the kind of guy. I mean, he did go good against Means. And I left Tim Means for dead after that fight, and then Tim Means came back and won another fight. But, when you got a guy like Rodriguez fighting Grant, these guys are in their 30s. Neither one of them is really a world beater. But at the same time, they're fairly new to the UFC. At least Rodriguez says he fought on the Contender Series in 2019. So I don't think he can lay a big number on this Rodriguez. I thought Rodriguez would beat Sato, and I think that he'll beat Grant, but I'm not down for laying 2-1 on him. It's just, but at the same time, I'm not going to bite on a live dog that won't win either. I think that the number that they hung on this was kind of a reflection of what he was against Sato, and therefore that's why the sharper money came on Grant, because I think they look at this fight as well. Can't lay that price. That's my trend. That's my thinking on this for what it's worth.
Philly Godfather, do you have a take on this?
I didn't research this fight enough, but from just what Joey's telling me, I mean, the over 275 sounds appealing. What's the juice at minus 150 or 175, Dave?
Let's see here. Yeah, over 2.5 minus 175.
Yeah, the couple guys I talked to, they just said the number was a little slightly too high, but that doesn't mean he's not going to win, like Joey said. So I got no opinion on this fight.
Matt, do you have an opinion?
No opinion on it.
Looks like an over. I mean, shit, it really does. Philly Godfather said that. It kind of looks like an over because I don't think he'll stop Grant. And I don't think Grant will stop him.
He's got a lot of heart and he can fight. Grant can fight a little bit.
Yeah, and he's going to be in shape. And even if Grant is technically better, this kid, the cardio might, Grant might slow down a little bit, and this kid's cardio might carry him to the finish line if an upset was in order. Just, again,
next fight is
free thinking.
Next fight is a bit of a question mark. Maria Agapova called out Shanna Dobson, and I'll tell you why that is a question mark now. Maria Agapova, at least this morning, was a 14-1 favorite, minus 1,400. Shanna Dobson plus 925. Maria Agapova from Kazakhstan, southpaw, is 9-1 right now, 3-0 as far as KOs, TKOs, 4-0 as far as submissions. Her only loss came to Tracy Cortez back in 2019, about a year ago, June 30th. She has won 4 of her last 5 in the first round. And of those 4, she had 2 submissions, 2 TKOs. 6 of her 9 fights have been stopped in the first round. The person she called out, Shanna Dobson, is 3-4. She is 1-1 as far as KOs, TKOs, 0-0 as far as submissions. She's lost her last 3, and her last win was in 2017. It is a flyweight fight. 1.5 is the over/under, plus 132 if you want to take the over, minus 152 if you want to take the under. Dave, where do you have the money?
Yeah, this is a weird matchup, a crazy one. When you see these odds that are so lopsided, you can 100 times out of 100, the house is going to need the favor, and the same applies here. I mean, 92% of the bettors and 63% of the cash is on Dobson, which is now paying out at plus 950. Again, that's kind of what I call the kind of lottery ticket syndrome, or the parlay syndrome, where just all the public is just betting a little to hopefully for a long shot to come in for a big score. And 63% of the actions on under 1.5. Nothing sharp here, anyways.
Joey, you have something on this fight?
I might be alone on the island here, but I bet over 1.5. I think this bout can go over. I remember watching this Agapova girl on Dana White Contender Series and saying to myself, Jesus, Kazakhstan MMA is really weak, for lack of a better word. Again, Dobson's from hunger, man. Dobson is not, she's not a good fighter, but I think that, I think she might survive a little while. If Agapova takes her down, probably. Well, Dobson knows what she's up against. So again, I bet under. So I'm already invested on this thing. But I got a good buddy from mine, Sports Illustrated guy, Y2 Casey. He's on the exact opposite side, and I respect his opinion. He's got a pretty solid opinion. So I don't know. I mean, for what it's worth, I'm on the over, but there's opposition. What do you have with that total game, Dave?
What's that?
Sorry. What's on that total? What do you have? What side did they bet?
They're on the under. 63% on the under. What price do you get on the over? We have it currently plus 125.
What did I take? You know what? I think I took plus 125, plus 135. I took on the over.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
So, it's got to get there, but we'll see. I'll be sweating it.
As long as you're getting the best of the number, man.
I need a referee like last night that Bader had. Jesus, they let them get the shit beat out of him. Do you see that, JBL? God.
I did, yes.
Oh, he was running. They were chasing him and just beating his ass. He just, I don't even know. I could make some comparisons, but it'd be politically incorrect. It was a fucking beatdown.
Hey, Joey, I meant to give a shout out to your guy from Sports Grid. What is his name? Canadian, right?
Gabe Morency, and Cam Stewart. Two real good dudes. These guys.
So you're there talking about the Indy fight in the main event.
What's that?
Saw you on there yesterday talking about the main event and the NUE fight.
Yeah. Well, he liked
good guys, good show. Just want to give him a shout out. They were kind to us on their show as well.
Yeah, he liked OSP. He caused. You're talking about the coach curse. My man Morency caused St. Prue to test positive for COVID today. He was pumped, man. That was the one he loved, St. Prue, and St. Prue he made it all the way to the test. Made weight and everything.
Billy Godfather, you got a 14-1 favorite and a over/under at 1.5. For some reason, she called out a fighter that was plus 925 in this. I'd call out a fighter. I was a 14-1 favorite over 2. What you got anything on this fight?
This fight might remind you guys of Seinfeld episode when Kramer's beating up the little kids. I mean, 15-1. How do you call it? I don't know. Usually, if you got a 15-1 favorite, 14-1 favorite, you're looking to bet the under. But I'm not going to go against Joey here, man. I mean, Joey did his research. He bet the over. I'm just not touching the fight. I just, first thing that comes to my head is 14-1. It ain't going to last. But if Joey says it is, it is. I mean, I'm just...
I bet over. Is there a parlay that doesn't have the favorite in it, Dave? I mean, these guys are going to be just running to the bridge if...
that's how that works. That's how that works. That'll be in
this is the kind of fight.
Parlays, yeah.
The kind of fight that happens, and you know that. When you look at something, you say there's absolutely no way the New York Jets can beat this Kansas City Chiefs team. You know what I mean? It's those ones that just you give no shot to, and they load up on those money lines. And same with these fighters. I mean, look at St. Pierre, Sarah. I mean, happened with Barral and Dillashaw. I mean, all those big ups. Well, obviously, every time there's a big upset, it happens.
What's the dog and overpay, Dave? A lot.
What's that, dog and over?
What's that?
Correlated there, man. Pays nothing.
That sounds like a check from the PPE, from the Small Business Association, giving out free money. That's a big number.
Matt, do you have anything on this fight?
No, I don't have nothing. I mean, they call Dobson, I think, Danger Dobson, but she's not going to be dangerous this fight.
Danger of losing your money betting her. Jesus, she's not good, man.
Her last win was in 2017. Next fight is a light heavyweight fight. Mike Rodriguez is the favorite, and American from USA minus 230. He has a record of 10-4, 8-1 as far as KOs, TKOs, 2-1 as far as submissions. He is fighting Marcin Paccio, plus 190 from Poland. He is 13-4, 10-3 as far as KOs, TKOs, 1-0 as far as submissions. The Polish fighter his first loss is had two straight losses. I'm sorry, by first round KO, TKO, and his last. Sorry, I took some crazy notes here. His last two straight losses by KO, TKO. Rodriguez, he has a KO loss in his last fight as well. Southpaw. The over/under stands at 1.5 plus 115 to bet the over. Dave, where do you have the money?
Money's on Rodriguez. 81% of the cash is on the favorite there. He's currently minus 235. It looks like 57% of the bettors are on the dog. 75% of the action is on under 1.5.
Yeah, and here was my note, which I couldn't read, Joey. The last 4 fights by the Polish fighter Paccio have ended in the first round. The last 2 he lost. The 2 before he won, which I thought was a bit unusual. What do you have on the fight, Joey?
I think, I thought that Rodriguez would win this fight. He's a Boston guy, and I still think Rodriguez wins this fight. But I mean, it seems how much of the money's on Rodriguez, Dave? Looks like
81%, and 81% of the cash is on Rodriguez. 57% of the bettors are on the other side.
Man, it's tough to I think Rodriguez wins this, but when you see that much money on Rodriguez, he's like the favorite choice. He's a Boston guy, and they pile on. I think Rodriguez wins this fight. A lot of the guys that were, I'm sure that Anakin Florian and those guys are all over this Rodriguez, and they probably pumped him up on their shows. They do that a bit. I don't think this Polish kid wins this fight. I think Rodriguez is the right side. I need under. I mean, I need under 1.5.
When's the last time this Polish kid fought? 2018? The last fight he had?
He fought in 2018. He lost it by KO 2018 to Ankalaev. He lost to Sam Alvey.
September 15th, 2018.
Yeah, he lost his last two fights. He got stopped in both of his last two fights, right?
Yeah, quick too.
Yeah, and Rodriguez got stopped last time out too, didn't he? Like in 64 seconds by a Korean kid or something.
Yeah, last two fights I think lost in the first round, right? I mean,
I bet under.
He's one of those kill or be killed kind of guys. So that's why that total's 1.5.
I don't know how you make Rodriguez such a.
To answer your question, Bracho had two fights in 2018. September 15th was the last. He lost both of those in the first round. And Rodriguez got pummeled, destroyed in his first round of his last fight as well.
Yeah, the Korean kid, right? How do you make Rodriguez minus 235 favorite? I don't.
Just maybe my rationale for that, if I was going to put that number up and open them about $1.85, 2-1, I would think that he's going to have a lot of support from the U.S. bettors, especially those Boston guys. Boston, you get a guy from New York, even like that kid that's fighting Alvarez tonight, that Joe Smith. In the boxing, not to draw a comparison, that Joe Smith's got all that Long Island Union money behind him. You know that they're going to bet him at any price. And I think that that's probably the line of thought here, that they would bet Rodriguez at any price against the Polish fighter. And the Polish fighter, I mean, I don't know who had his last win was in 2017 too, just like Dobson.
Yeah,
so I mean, you're looking at it and saying, "Geez, this kid's going to get smashed." I imagine that everybody's going to be on the favorite. I pulled the trigger on the under 1.5. I figured that he'll get him out of there.
One of them's got to go out real quick, right, Joe?
Yeah.
You brought up Joe Smith. Let me tell you, Joe Smith can punch a little bit. He knocked Bernard Hopkins out of the ring, and he beat Jesse Hart, who was the favorite in that fight, if I remember correctly. And Jesse Hart was supposed to be the next Bernard Hopkins at 168. So Joe Smith can punch, but I mean, if you want to take a shot, take the 2-1 for a little bit. I don't know. I'm not touching this fight, guys. I'm not touching the fight.
Matt, are you touching the fight?
Yeah, actually, I like Rodriguez. I mean, this dude, Pratt, whatever you say his name, he's just so reckless. I mean, I don't know. Both of these guys are under a lot of pressure to win this fight. Rodriguez, he holds the 9-inch reach advantage, I believe. And I just think he's going to keep his distance, wait for him to become reckless, frustrate him. He's going to end up slipping. He's going to hit him with a counter. I think Rodriguez gets it done.
The next fight was called off, OSP, because the Haitian Southpaw was called off because of contraction of COVID. Dave, have I missed a fight? I don't think I have. Before the main event?
Nah, we're out down to the main event.
It's a crazy card. So
Yeah.
I'll go over the fights right now as far as what everybody said, just to give everybody a rundown. First fight, Trevin Jones versus the Russian Timur Valiev, both in the debut. The lean here by Joy, the Philly Godfather, and Matt is toward the Russian at Valiev. The public money is on Jones, 73%, 60% have the over. Carlton minus welterweight versus Matthew Semmelsberger. Sharp money, along with Joy, has a lean, and the Philly Godfather who has a bet on a Semmelsberger. 70% of the fight is on the under. Joy likes the under. Next fight, Hurricane Villanueva versus Jordan Wright, the Beverly Hills Ninja. 56% of the money is on the Beverly Hills Ninja. The Philly Godfather, Joy, and Matt, like Hurricane Ike, who's moving from heavyweight down to light heavyweight, as compared to Wright moving from middleweight up to light heavy. 64.5% of the public is on the under, which stands at 1.5. Austin Hubbard is the next fight versus Joe Selecki. 62% of the bets, 56% of the money is on Austin Hubbard. But as far as sharp money, and Joey, Philly Godfather, and Matt, who's leaning toward this, are their own Selecki. Next fight, the women's fight, strawweight fight, Amanda Lemos versus Mizuki Inoue. Inoue gets 69% of the money, 56% of the bets. Could be vice versa. I have my notes here kind of too scribblish to read. Matt, Joy, and the Philly Godfather are on the Japanese fighter. The Lemos sharp money was taking her at plus 140 and better. Main card, you got Dwight Grant versus D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez. 93% of the public is on the under, which is 2.5 rounds. 69% of the cash, 60% of bets are on Dwight Grant. Joey leans toward Rodriguez, and Joey also leans on the over. No bet as far as others. The next fight is the big favorite of the day, Maria Agapova From Kazakhstan, Southpaw, you have 92% of the bets, 63% of the cash is on the lottery ticket of Shanna Dodson at plus 925. Joey is on the over here. You're on the under, weren't you?
The lottery might have a better chance there. I'm on the over.
You're on the over. Yeah, on the over. 63% of the public money was on the under. Next fight is the Polish fighter Pracho against Rodriguez. We just discussed the southpaw from the USA, Rodriguez. Matt leans that way. 81% of the public is that way. 75% of the under. Joey and the Philly Godfather. Philly Godfather wouldn't touch it, and Joey leans.
I bet under JBL. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me know because I missed that. I missed that note somewhere. So
yeah, under. I'm under in that fight.
Under on the fight, as does 75% of public money. The under on that fight, by the way, is 1.5 rounds. Which brings us to the main event. Originally, UFC 251, Frankie Edgar, a bantamweight fight against Pedro Munoz from Brazil. Munoz is 18-4, 5-0 as far as KOs, TKOs, 8-0 as far as submissions. There's been 441 days since Munoz last fight. He is known as the answer. The person who had the trilogy versus Maynard, and also was a 5-1 underdog against BJ Penn when he won the title. Frankie Edgar is 18-4, 6-2 as far as KOs, TKOs, 4-0 as far as submissions. An interesting.
Pedro's 18-4, JBL. I think you got that. Did you just said Edgar was 18-4?
I did because I had my numbers backwards because I.
No, it's all right. It's all good.
Thank you for helping me.
No, I said, wait a minute. I saw Edgar get beat like 6 times. I was wondering.
I don't want to get that wrong.
He didn't lose that second Benson Henderson fight, and I'm still mad about that. I want my money.
Oh, too bad. Too bad. Thank you.
Edgar has had a record 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 51 seconds in the UFC octagon. 89 rounds, that is, and that's through 26 fights. No one is even close as far as the amount of time he's spent in the octagon of the UFC. It's a bantamweight fight, 3.5 rounds. Is the over-under total with basically split. It's a coin flip between the two. Dave, where do you have the money?
67% of the bettors are on Edgar, but 77% of the cash is on the other side. Munoz is the favorite. Over's the bet here. You know, most of these fights get bet under, but Frankie Edgar's fighting, they're going to be betting the over usually. So 77% of the action is on over 3.5. Nothing sharp.
Joey, you got a fighter that is going down 20 pounds. He's a true lightweight. He's going through featherweight where he's fought. He's now going down to bantamweight, 20 pounds, and Frankie Edgar. He's also 38 years old. What do you think about this fight?
You know, and I spoke on this the other night. When guys start, getting up in age and going down in weight, and you probably see that with the WWE, those guys, they lose muscle. You know what I mean? It's when they're in their prime. When he fought Gray Maynard, I mean, that was a prime Edgar at 155 pounds. Now he's going, he's all the way down to 135 pounds. I think, you lose muscle as you get older. Your testosterone levels go down, everything. I love Frankie Edgar, good dude, but I think that, I think he's a little long in the tooth now. Ortega stopped him in the first round. Jung stopped him in the first round. The other two bouts, decision bouts, always tough. But the short of it is I think that Munoz here, I think Munoz beats him. It's like kind of, Munoz is 33 years old too, but he's 18-4. He's lost 4 decisions. He doesn't have the. I think he's got the miles, and the loss is Sterling. I mean, Sterling's top of the top of the barrel right now for a title shot. And when I looked at this fight, and I don't want to talk too long on it, but when I looked at it, I said, wow. I said, Rivera beat Munoz, Dodson beat Munoz, and I'm thinking, man, the speed and on his feet and things like this, But it's not the same Frankie Edgar, man. We're getting a Frankie, this isn't the Frankie Edgar that beat Maynard and recovered from those shots. I think that he's got up there in age, and, he is a Hall of Famer, but, I think this is Munoz's time. I really do. I think Munoz might even stop him. I wouldn't be comfortable betting over 3.5 in this fight. I couldn't do it. And I definitely, I don't know how anybody that likes money could bet Frankie Edgar to put it. And I know that PG, switched up his thoughts on this. I wasn't saying that to discredit what Steve had said, and I hope Steve's on Munoz, but I think that Munoz wins this fight.
Philly Godfather, when Dana White had his lightweight champion at 155, he said, "Can you imagine what happens if Edgar would move down?" Well, now you're seeing Edgar move down. The question is he moving down too late in his career? What are your thoughts on the fight?
At first, I kind of liked Edgar compared to the price. I mean, the price is very, very appetizing. It kind of draws you in, especially with the experience Edgar has. But then I start watching some of his last few fights. Looks like he's slowing down a little bit. A lot of hesitation. He's thinking before he's reacting instead of reacting automatically. And I mean, if you look at these aging UFC fighters, when they get older, man, their record ain't that great. The neurons start slowing down. Everything about their reaction time starts slowing down. And now he's going in there to fight a kid who's a monster. I mean, you can be a young 33 or an old 27, whether it's UFC or boxing, depending on how much abuse you've taken. So even though Munez is 33 years old, he's like a young 33. He hasn't taken that much abuse. I had to switch my wager. At first I liked Edgar, now I like Munez.
Matt, to Philly Godfather's point, Frankie Edgar had no KO losses in his first 28 fights. He's had 2 in his last 4, and he's lost 3 of his last 4 fights. What are your thoughts on this fight, Matt?
I think he's just gotten too old at this point. I think he's been through a lot of battles, and now he's moving down and moving in weight. It's going to be hard coming off 2 losses, the second knockout of his career. I don't know, man. I think Muniz is going to come quick, and I know Edgar's trying to wrestle his way to a decision, but I just can't see it happening. I think Muniz might pull off a quick finish on this one. So I lean under, but I like Muniz.
And not to add on top of what we're talking about, but a good friend of mine, he's a doctor, he's real sharp. I mean, he pays attention to everything. And he was talking about the neurons and how these older fighters start to slow down. And then he brought up the fact that even in an interview, Frankie Edgar started talking about how he's thinking too much and he should react more. So he knows what's going on with his body. He knows what's going on with his fighting style. He knows he's slowing down a little bit. So that's basically a dead giveaway. When the fighter is telling you he's slowing down and he's not reacting quickly enough and he's got to start reacting quicker, I mean, it's got to tell you he's slowing down. So, yeah, the other side, I mean, you got to take the young Punisher, man.
The thing I just want to add with his moving down in weight too, I mean, is probably his best weight to fight at. Was probably, I mean, he was the 155 champ and all, but I mean, he was small for that division. He didn't lose any weight. He walked around like 156 and he was fighting 155. So, you know, he could have easily moved down to 145 earlier in his career, you know, after he quote unquote lost to Benson Henderson that second time. He should have probably moved down then. But he's still stuck around 155, and Dana White was trying to talk him into going down to 145 because that was probably, you know, his better weight class at that time because, you know, he could easily lose 10 pounds and fight 145. So he delayed and delayed and delayed, finally moved down to 145, and then, you know, they caught up with him there. And now he's delayed, and moved down to bantamweight 135. So it's not even so much that he's moving down. It's just he's moved down too late. He moved down too late to 145, and now he's moving down too late to 135. And, you know, you're losing weight, you know, early in your career, that's fine. But after all those wars and after you're in the mid-30s and late 30s, good luck. So, you know, it's not the point that he's moving down. He just moved down too damn late as far as I'm concerned. But, man, I hope he does it because head says Munoz, but heart says Edgar because he's one of my all-time favorites, man, especially being an East Coast guy, good guy, puts on entertaining fights. And I hope he does it, but I'm not counting on it.
Tom's River, New Jersey guy.
Sir.
Now, Joe, let me ask you a question. I always talk about like an NFL lean, NBA lean, how they're leaning a certain way on a game or a series or a matchup, and how they, in my opinion, implement the right officiating crew in those type of games. Now, is there a UFC lean? Because if there was any, wouldn't they be leaning Edgar here? Isn't he the fighter that they wish wins this fight? Do you handicap that at all? Or?
Yeah, you know, generally, I mean, gosh, when it comes to, you know, I tell you want a recipe to win, and it's a different, and I know those trends are crazy, but you look at Bellator, anything Bellator seems to want to happen doesn't happen. I mean, it's just, they're snake bit to shit. I mean, that organization, they're trying to put Pico over. Boom, he goes out and gets beat a couple times. Caldwell, just Bader last night. I guess all three judges at the first. I was barely watching it. I mean, it was a wipeout, but I'm sure that they're not comfortable with a Russian it. I don't even think the dude spoke English. You don't want, unless you're going to make a big expansion over to the former Soviet Union. I don't think that you really are. It's not good to have a lot of Russian champs in there. I mean, Khabib's, a different story. Khabib's got character and he's got some history behind him and everything. But anyways, going back to what you said, yeah, I mean, it's betting with your heart. I mean, everybody wants everybody loves Rudy. Everybody wants the underdog story, the Rocky, type thing. JBL, look, you got the good guy and you got the heels, right? I mean, there's got to be some dudes that you're in the ring with that you're supposed to beat. And you're gonna have people spitting on you when you walk out of there and stuff, right?
Well, you got you got the good guys, you got the heels, then you got the legends like JBL. I mean, come on, there's three types of wrestlers out there.
Right?
Oh my God! When we first started, I was with Skandor Akbar in Dallas, Texas. We had this old car because they used to always cut our tires. We'd beat up the Von Erich boys. They threw something through our window one time. It was brutal. We used to come out of Philadelphia at the Garden, the same thing. New York fans and Philly fans, boy, you beat up some of these local favorites. It was not easy getting out of there sometimes.
That's
So is the term snake bit to shit? Is that an insider professional term that you use, or?
Well, I mean, this is the follow the action, pre-fight. Everybody's just jacked right now. You got guys drinking beers, guys are blazed and getting ready for this couple cups, Dave's not on camera. He's down there like Al Pacino and Scarface.
Well, he's doing push-ups and sit-ups. He needs his abs to be real flat for that next photo shoot.
Yeah. Hey, Joey, does it give you any pause at least that Edgar was a 5-1 underdog against BJ Penn? He's only a 2-1 underdog here, and Munoz has not fought 441 days, and Edgar loves being the dog here.
It's Edgar might win a round or two. Early. I just don't see him beating him. I don't see him beating him. And again, Munoz, I mean, lost to Sterling. No shame in that loss. No shame in any of his losses, really. I just don't think Edgar's going to be able to keep that pace for 5 rounds to beat Munoz. I really don't. I think that Edgar's chin might not be what it used to be. Yeah. And under quarantine. I mean, there's this quarantine stuff. It throws a whole new, everything becomes a lot different. Obviously, some guys can't train, some guys can. Maybe it benefits Edgar, but I don't think so. No, it doesn't. Look, I'm not going to talk myself out of betting Munoz or out of liking Munoz here. I'm not going to do it. I don't think Frankie Edgar can win this fight. Sure, the price is a little bit high, but it's high enough to keep you off the winner, right, Dave?
Absolutely, and Munoz will be parlay with everything too with that price right there. So we'll be needing Edgar.
Your guy Vildosa made a good point. Him and Dino 30,000, saying that Munoz fought well against Sterling, even though he lost as well. We also have a question from King Gucci 305. He's asking Joey, do you think Munoz has a shot to win by decision?
And I just. Yeah, I mean, that's the logical thought. You would think that that's how he's going to win. You don't, because again, we talk about Edgar, but no, man, I think at some point he's going to stop Frankie Edgar, and I think Edgar might leave us. I don't know what Edgar's plans are after this, but I think that I would not be surprised in the slightest bit if Frankie Edgar left his mitts in the ring. I'm not saying. Yeah, you know what I am. He's down at 135. He's going to try to make one more run for a title, and if he can't get past Munoz, who just lost to Sterling, who's lobbying for a title shot, I think he's in the lower tier of the 135-pounder. So Edgar retiring off a massive win by Munoz, maybe a stoppage. I don't like cornering yourself in with those props either. I preach this and I watch it every week, guys, on, you just don't know. I mean, crazy things happen. Referees got a lot to say, submissions, KOs, clean KOs. You don't know. So I don't like backing myself into a corner. If you like a fighter, just bet him to win. Even if you got to wait to 3-1 instead of the $1.10 by decision. That's probably what he's trying to do. He's trying to look to lay the lesser price on Munoz here. I think that's a bad move. I mean, you might as well just go bet the over. I just think it's a bad move to corner yourself in with an exact method of victory. I think those are trap props. The house has got a huge hold on it. What, probably 30%, Dave? What do you got? How much are you guys taking us for? What do you guys think for?
Method of victory it's not 30%.
You ain't got to answer the question, Dave. You ain't got to answer.
I mean, 30%.
You can
Holy
plead the
hell,
fifth,
man.
just like they do in all the mob games on TV.
Hey,
I
Joey,
plead the fifth.
we're not at that old book, man. It's not 30%.
We're trying to help the players here. You know, I don't want to. Dave's not the enemy, but
Listen,
no. Method of victory's not 30%. I mean, like 15%.
Hey, a couple shows ago, Dave, Joey went after the public. So don't worry about this.
I hear you.
I hear you. After everybody.
We're all.
Let him get talking about Paul Felder, and we'll be here all night.
Shout out to
Joy.
What's that, man?
Shout out to Murdoch in the chat.
Dave, what liabilities as far as the book do you have? Who do you need to win tonight?
Oh man, I mean our biggest liabilities is that Shanna Dobson, the underdog, the plus 950. Like I said earlier, whenever you see a big dog like that, it's just all that lottery money. So
I don't think you got to worry about that one. I mean,
I mean you can, and this is not an exaggeration. I'm adding up right now, real quick to my head, and for the straight bets on odds to win. You get all that liability on her is more than all the other liabilities combined. As of now, that all changed throughout the next few hours, but that just tells you kind of how those long dogs, you know, it's just that I mean the biggest loss in our history for an MMA fight was that when Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey, and you know that was as high as like minus 1,200 Rousey, and as everybody's beating it. They weren't, you know, it wasn't just about Holm or Rousey. It was just that long price, and that price dropped. I forget what that fight closed at, but it dropped definitely because the liability is so high. But when Holm beat her, man, that was a freaking bloodbath for us.
I slept through it. I was in a coma when that fight happened. You believe that? I went in the hospital on the 30th of October. And I didn't wake up until December.
Wow.
I actually when I was under, I dreamt, not that this means anything. I dreamt that Ronda Rousey got beat, which was unthinkable at the time, and that Floyd got beat. When I finally woke up in December and got to my senses, and I was talking to Supermarket Mike, you know him, Phil, PG. And
what year was that?
What's that?
What year was that?
That was 2015. October 2015.
Why didn't you choose 2020 to go into a coma? 2015 was a good year. 2020. You sleep through this. We're going through some blackouts.
It's true, but then I wouldn't be able to see you down in quarantine, you know, and I wouldn't be able to see you on your shows.
That's right. I get my COVID test results soon. So.
Coach,
I heard you took it a couple times. I'm not even going to say nothing.
I hope myself up. But if I wasn't here, think about it. Coach last week would have talked his O into what's his name?
O'Malley Jally.
Betting on Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, O'Malley. McNally, I'm thinking. McNally,
O'Malley.
Does it really matter? They both got beat, you know? McNeely lasted longer, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
He did.
It was close.
But then he got to do some Pizza Hut commercials afterwards, so McNeely was all right. I don't know what's going to happen to O'Malley.
He was a poet. Remember that poem he read before the fight? God, he read this like six line poem, JBL, and he literally had to like look at the paper to read it. And when he was doing, I mean, maybe it was staged. Maybe it was supposed to make him look dumb, but couldn't have looked any dumber. I mean, he was stumbling.
He can't be that stupid. What do you get? $500,000 for the fight? He can't be that dumb.
No, I no doubt. I mean, I've done it. Shit. Are you kidding me? They knew what was up Del Vecchio. I mean, they threw that. They jumped right in there. I mean, they knew, you know, Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson's coming back. Mike Tyson's back. He's fighting Roy Jones. Everybody's pumped up, right? I don't think so. I mean, what a laughable, you know, it's exhibition that fight is. You know, but Tyson's cashing in. Those guys are getting money. That's what it's about, getting paid, right?
Before we go, I'll let you guys go out there and watch all the UFC fights. We got a lot of action tonight. Major League Baseball is kicking right in the middle of its season since it's such a short season. NBA playoffs tonight. Philly Godfather, have you got something you want to throw out extra to the people out there listening? A little free pick for us?
We'll go to baseball. I bet the Phillies, even though the line moved against me. I like Wheeler, the kick and pitch a little bit. I took the under in Colorado in the Dodgers game. That line moved. I went under 9.5. It's down to 8.5. If you want to bet the team total, Colorado under 3.5. Maybe you can bet it that way. And I bet on Gallen for Arizona. That kid can pitch his ass off, man. I like Arizona, man.
Matt, you got anything you want to give us out there? A little free pick, a little free smorgasbord for the people?
Yeah, I'm with him. We love the Phillies tonight, even though, like you said, the line moved against us a little bit. Love the Phillies, so that's our free move. But I just want to say shout out to some people in the chat. Murdoch3383, Dino is in there. King Gucci, Badosta, your guy Joey, and Gotham City VLG. I've seen him at
Gotham City Vig is one of the sharpest UFC guys, other than Joey, I know. That's how sharp Gotham City Vig is. I'm not even joking. The guy's unreal. It's Joey 1A and Gotham City 1B. That's how close it is.
So shout out to you guys. Appreciate it. And shout out to Great Dane, Straight Wager.
Thanks, Great Wagers in there.
Thanks, everybody.
ABL.
Philly got one question before we go. Luka going out with the Dallas Mavericks. I'm a fan of all my Texas teams. Does that pretty much spell the end for Dallas?
I mean, without him in the lineup.
If he is out.
If he's out, absolutely. If he's not 100%, I mean, the Clippers are so deep, so any type of injury, I mean, if he's out, forget about it. If he's not 100%, forget about it. That Clippers team, that's the team to beat. That's the team you got to watch out for. They're so deep. They got the coach, and they got the best player in the NBA, Kawhi Leonard. I mean, it's over. And it's a shame because that Dallas team, is run in an analytical fashion, and you see these guys performing. It's like poetry on the basketball court. They don't have the athletic talent that some of these other teams have, but the way they play basketball, it's beautiful to watch. And it's a shame that he's going out, man. I mean, I really like that team.
Yeah, they play very well together. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the old Dallas Mavericks team with Nowitzki when they went to finals versus LeBron. They just play well together. So it's kind of a shame we don't get to see them, but we'll see them in the future.
Yeah, and if Porzingis doesn't get thrown out of that first game, they probably could have been up 2-0, and the whole dynamic of the series changes. Maybe Luka doesn't get hurt. Like, you don't know. It's just I'm pissed off that he's hurt.
Is it the fact that Kawhi has a rabbit's foot somewhere on it? He hits that ball against Philadelphia. The ball bounces up near the Raptors and finally goes in. That game could have gone the other way. If Luka doesn't get hurt, if Porzingis doesn't get thrown out of the game, I mean, this series could be different this year too.
He's got a rabbit farm, and they put horseshoes on those rabbits. That's what they're doing. But he's amazing. Listen, we call him AI, artificial intelligence. It seems as the game goes on, he gets better, he gets sharper as the series goes on, and he figures these teams out. And then once he figures the teams out, it's over, man. He's so good.
Joy, did you have something else?
No, I just wanted to know who you think would win if Bart Gunn could beat Peter McNeely. In your opinion, since you're a common opponent, right? You fought Bart Gunn.
I didn't fight Peter McNeely though. I fought Bart Gunn. Yeah.
What do you think?
When I heard, I got hit by a great left hook.
I'm just wondering. It reminded me because I was thinking of like McNeely going down, and I thought about you. Shots fired.
Shots fired. Thank you, Joy, for bringing up the fact that I lost that fight. I appreciate that. I did win 3 fights in that tournament, Joy. I didn't make it to the finals. I just, the problem I had was I fought sober. That was my problem. I'd never done that before. I've always been in a bunch of bar fights when I never lost, and I shouldn't have fought sober. That was my deal.
They pulled you out of your natural environment, right?
That's exactly right.
You got to train drunk to fight drunk, right?
That's right.
Is Coach still MIA? Has Coach hit anyone up? Is he missing in action? Where's he at?
Coach was a ring girl, right? With the card.
Is that what Coach was? Oh my
God. He was a ring boy back then.
Coach was one of the original ring girls for. We miss Coach. Coach needs
Coach is a diva. Coach is one of the original divas, WWE divas, right?
Coach is
going to be pissed.
Coach rules, man. I don't care what you say about him, Joey. Coach rules. That's it.
Coach rules.
Coach is the best, man.
Coach
is laughing at us. Him and Tiger, if they're even watching this show, him and Tiger probably chilling, doing,
Well, they're close friends, ain't they? Ain't they close friends? Him and Tiger?
Him and Tiger are like boys, right? Coach hangs with all the celebrities, man. I'm stuck with you guys.
I think Joey's just hating on Coach because Coach is with all the big shots out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. I think there's some jealousy here against the coach, Joey. That's
There
right.
is. There's some.
You know, words hurt. Words hurt, Joey. Words hurt, man.
That's right. Words hurt, pal.
Coach knows. I'm thinking of Coach, so at least I'm thinking about him.
Well, there you have it. That is follow the action for the best combat sports handicapper in the world, Mr. Joey Odessa, Joey Bagels. It's bagel time for the legend, the Philly Godfather, for the college kid, Matt, and for the supermodel that we've never seen but has abs like Ronaldo, Dave Mason. Thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the fights tonight. Good luck on your bets.